What's up, y'all? Today I'm giving my last rank guide for the split. This time we're talking about Diamond on Kings Canyon. There's still a week left, so if you're D4 and you want to give it a shot, don't give up yet. I think with the new rank changes, this is the easiest rank split yet, so it's definitely worth testing out at least. I hit Master Solo queuing last Tuesday doing the things in these guides, so I know these strategies work. Alright, let's get into it.
I need 170, it don't matter, we here. We here.
If you want to climb in ranked, you need to be playing to the best of your abilities, and it's easiest to do that when you're conscious of your role in the team and you pick a legend that suits that. I mentioned the best legends for ranked in my last video, and even with the caustic nerf, I think that list stays the same. For my solo queuers, the best legends to use are Bloodhound, Caustic, Horizon, Loba, Octane, and Wraith. Gibraltar is a possible pick, but he's risky because he lacks mobility, and your random teammates may leave you to die without warning. I experimented with a lot of different legends on my grind, and personally, Octane was the best for me. If you're an aggressive player, he's definitely the meta right now, and he has great escapability for when things go south. That and his jump pad make for easy rotations. Wraith and Horizon are also great picks for more aggressive players, and they really help you control fights. For more support players, I suggest Bloodhound and Loba. Bloodhound gets easy assists, helps get info for the team, and his ult is great for getting mobility during fights. Loba is still super slept on, but her ult is great for looting when things get sparse, and her bracelet is great for repositioning. Fair warning, her bracelet is somewhat broken right now, so she is kind of a risky pick. For my team players, I said it before and I'll say it again, Revenant, Octane. Tip number 2, Playstyle. I've seen a lot of people say passive aggressive and that works, but even more than that, it's opportunistic. You need to be proactive to control your positioning to avoid getting pinched, know when to back out of fights, and also know the right fights to push. Just because you hear two teams shooting close by does not mean it's an easy third party. You should never push the third party before anyone on either team is knocked. Also, just because you see a solo or duo doesn't mean you should drop everything to try and swipe up the easy KP. If you chase them too far, you might put yourself between multiple full squads and get yourself sent back to the lobby. With that said, there's definitely ways to play entire games off only third parties and sweeping up short squads. Next tip, communicate. You should be communicating as much as possible with both your voice and your pings, even if your team isn't responding back. Let them know about teams you see, how you're rotating, and make all your callouts during fights. A lot of random players just go with the flow, so if you sound like you know what you're doing, they'll be happy to follow you. Also, if you're D3 plus and showing you know how to climb, or if you have nice badges like a 4K or a 20 bomb, flex them. I notice players are more receptive to you if they think you're good at the game. Here's a quick example of me using the first few tips to get out of a bad situation. At this point, we already fought two teams, and I realized that this fight isn't going anywhere.
How do y'all feel about leaving this fight? It's a pretty bad fight. I think any bounce pad is backwards. I just kind of want to go run off.
Even though the Octane hasn't said anything all game, I can tell he can hear me by when he says his jump pad, and it helps us get out of here very easily.
Right. Go, go, go. We just got thirded. That's why I tried to back out. Exactly.
Not long after we left, we hear the first team get third party, and we're able to get an easy knock before we decide it's best to leave again.
Got you, asshole. Hey, we might have to let the other team handle the thirst. I don't have that much ammo. I still don't really like it. I'm down to back off. Yeah, you don't have shields? Yeah, let's just go then.
Tip number 4, dropping. The main goal of your drop should always be to avoid immediately losing 48 RP. So you should be landing uncontested near the edge of the map. I would always be open mic communicating where I was going, how many squads are at surrounding POIs, how many squads are with us, and if I was going to bail to another location. Always be looking around while you drop to spot teams landing with you or at nearby POIs. If that's not available, land uncontested more to the center of the map near a POI with multiple teams. Loot quickly, and when you see a knock in the kill feed, go for the third party. Being near the edge of the map is crucial not only for landing, but it makes rotations a lot easier. Securing a couple early KP lets you relax and focus on rotations and placement, but don't try too hard to force it. You don't want to be the team getting third-partied. A lot of people think pushing fights early is the best way to climb, but if you're solo, you never know how strong your team is, so it's rarely worth the risk. As always, make sure you choose your legend at the character selection screen so you can secure that jump master. Randoms don't care about you or your RP. Now let's talk about the mid game. Whether you have KP or not, you should spend your mid game focusing on rotations. By the time the first circle closes, there should be around 10 to 15 squads left. If there are more, you might be in a master's lobby, so be conscious of that. Don't be afraid to wait on the edge of ring until first circle closes or even inside the ring, since zone hurts so little. After it closes though, you should be trying to rotate towards the wedge, where the old circle meets the new circle. If that's not an option, play the edge of circle closest to the edge of the map, or just the area closest to you. Try to avoid the middle of the map at all costs if the edge of the ring is near there. Those spots tend to get very hot and there's a lot of third partying. Try to predict where the North Circle is if you don't have a recon character to scan survey beacons and use that knowledge. In my opinion, knowing map rotations is the biggest difference between hard suck rankers and climbers. There's too many scenarios to break down every single one, but I went over one in my last guide. I'll link here or in the description. If you guys want a video explaining rotations too, just let me know.
Yeah, let's push him, let's push him.
If you make it to endgame with your full team alive, you're already in a great spot. If you're a man short, it's still possible, but you need to make sure your positioning is on point. Like the mid game, try to play wedge so you can avoid having enemies behind you, and try to play cover. Gibraltar is very strong here because he can make a lot of different areas viable that other legends just couldn't hold. If you're a full squad, be checking the squads left and the top right, and try to see if any squads are missing people or if there are any rats. Those can be easy KP if you find them. Other than that, you should only be taking fights if it's great for positioning, and when it comes to the last teams, you always want a third party for an easy win. That's going to wrap up my guide on how to get through Diamond Ranked on Kings Canyon and hit Masters. If you found this video helpful, be sure to like the video and subscribe for future content. You can find me on Twitch and Twitter at IncoWeTrust. Thanks again for watching. Peace.